7.1 Regions: Core and the Eastern Frontier. The Core region. Most of Russia's population and its major industries are located west of the Ural Mountains on the Russian plain. Known as Russia's geographic core, this includes the Moscow region, the Volga region, and the Ural Mountain region. Moscow, Russia's capital city, anchors a central industrial area that is home to more than 50 million people. Moscow alone has more than 10 million residents, with about 13 million in its metropolitan area, making it slightly smaller than the Los Angeles, California metro area. A ring of industrial cities surrounding Moscow contains vital production centers of Russian manufacturing. During the communist era, Moscow expanded from its 19th century core, although the city dates from at least the 12th century, and it became an industrial city with the planned neighborhoods. The world-class city has an extensive subway and freeway system that is expanding to meet current growth demands. Although rents, commodities, and domestic goods had fixed prices during the communist era, the Soviet Union's collapse changed all that. Today, Moscow is one of the most expensive places to live in the world, with prices based on supply and demand. Many want to live in Moscow, but it is financially out of reach for many Russians. Russia's second largest city, with a population of about 5 million, is St. Petersburg. Located on the Baltic Sea, it is Western Russia's leading port city. The city was renamed Petrograd in 1914 to 1924, and Leningrad from 1924 to 1991, but today it is often called Petersburg, or just Peter for short. Peter the Great built the city with the help of European architects in the early 18th century to rival other European capitals, and he made it the capital of the Russian Empire. Named after St. Peter in the Bible, not Peter the Great, it is a cultural center for Russia and a major tourist destination. It is also known for shipbuilding, oil and gas trade, manufacturing, and finance. Its greatest tragedy took place when it was under siege for 29 months by the German military during World War II. About 1 million civilians died of starvation or during the bombardment, and hundreds of thousands fled the city, leaving the city nearly empty by the end of the siege. To the far north of St. Petersburg, on the Barents Sea, are the cities of Murmansk and Arkhangelsk. Murmansk is a major military port for Russia's Navy and nuclear submarine fleet. Relatively warm water from the North Atlantic drifts circles around Norway to keep this northern port city fairly free of ice. Arkhangelsk, which literally means archangel, used as a port for lumber exports, has a much shorter ice-free season than Murmansk. Both of these cities are in Russia's far north, with long winters and exceedingly brief summers. The Volga River flows through the core region of Russia, providing transportation, fresh water, and fishing. The Volga is the longest river in Europe, at 2,293 miles, and it drains most of Russia's western core region. The river has been a vital link in the transportation system of Russia for centuries and connects major industrial centers from the Moscow region to the south through the extensive network of canals and other waterways. The Volga River flows into the Caspian Sea, and a canal links the Volga with the Black Sea through a connecting canal via the Don River. At the eastern edge of Russia's European core lies the Ural Mountains, which act as a natural divide between Europe and Asia. These low-lying mountains have an abundance of minerals and fossil fuels, which make the Ural Mountains ideal for industrial development. The natural resources of the Urals and the surrounding area provide raw materials for manufacturing and export. The eastern location kept these resources out of the hands of the Nazis during World War II, and the resources themselves helped in the war effort. Oil and natural gas exploration and development have been extensive across Russia's core region and have greatly increased Russia's export profits. The Eastern Frontier. East of the Urals, in south-central Russia, is Russia's eastern frontier, a region of planned cities, industrial plants, and raw material processing centers. The population is centered in two zones here, the Kuznetsk Basin, or Kubaz for short, and the Lake Baikal region. The Kubaz is a region of coal, iron ore, and bauxite mining. timber processing, and steel and aluminum production industries. Central industrial cities were created across the eastern frontier to take advantage of these resource opportunities. The most important of these is Novosibirsk, the third largest city in Russia, after Moscow and St. Petersburg, and home to 1.4 million people. The city is not only noted for its industries, but it is also the region's center for the arts, music, and theater. It is host to a music conservatory and a philharmonic orchestra, a division of the Russian Academy of Sciences, and 3 major universities. Agriculture, timber, and mining are the main economic activities in the eastern Lake Baikal region, which is more sparsely settled than the Kubaz. Lake Baikal, 400 miles long and 50 miles wide, holds more fresh water than all the U.S. Great Lakes together, and about 20% of all the liquid fresh water on the Earth's surface. Its depth has recently been measured at 5,370 feet. That's more than a mile deep. Some of the longest river systems in the world flow through the eastern frontier. The Irtsh, Ob, Yenisei, and Lena are the main rivers that flow north through the region into Siberia and on to the Arctic Ocean. To the east, the Amur River creates the border between Russia and China until it flows north into the Sea of Okhotsk. In addition to waterways, the Trans-Siberian Railway is the major transportation link through the eastern frontier, connecting Moscow with the port city of Vladivostok in the Far East.